MultiVersus. This game started out really strong but fell off harder than Designer, and if you're asking who Designer is, that proves my point exactly. But what caused for this game to actually die so fast? I'm trying to figure that out. If you have the answer, please let me know, but that's what I'm going to be discussing in this video because it's almost like they were trying to speedrun the death of the game. I don't understand how it fell off so hard. Like, if you actually look at the numbers, which I'm going to try and pull up in this video, it's insane. But if you have an answer, please, I'm begging you to comment it down below because I would love to know so that I just need closure, honestly. I don't understand what went wrong, but let's talk about it. But yeah, I'm sure most of you have heard about MultiVersus, and if you haven't, I don't know what kind of rock you've been living under, but everyone and their grandma had this game and was playing it when it first launched. It was kind of ridiculous. But now, if you say the name MultiVersus, people want to exile you from society. So what went wrong? Me personally, I think it was a few different reasons, and they kind of just added up together to cause the death of the game. You know, rest in peace. One of those reasons being that when the game first came out, in my opinion, again, this is all just my opinion. You could completely disagree with me and say that I'm wrong, stupid, and idiot. I don't care. But when the game first came out, in my opinion, I feel like it had little to no content. If I'm being honest with you, there just wasn't really much to work with, which I understand. It is a beta. That makes complete sense. You know, it's a beta. There's not supposed to be a ton of content. But when the game first came out, I could count the roster on one hand. And I played the game recently, I could count the roster on two hands now. But yeah, I really just think that they weren't adding enough content at a good rate in order to retain the player base, which I understand. Like I said, it's a beta, I know, but at the same time, it is also a fighting game, so to add a lot of characters at once, that's going to be hard as hell to do with balancing issues and all that. That's why games like, you know, Overwatch, they add characters at a very slow rate. And it's balancing is so difficult in a fighting game, let alone when you have to add a bunch of characters. It's hard. It's really hard. They kind of set themselves up for failure almost, I want to say. But yeah, and I get that it was a beta, but to me, when I think beta, I don't think of a game that's around for that long, along with having in-game currency you could purchase. When I think beta, I usually think like a short-term trial period around like a few days, a week, a couple weeks. This game was out for what, damn near a year or something? I don't know exactly, but the game was out for a while, and yet they still kind of just called it a beta. To me, that just doesn't really make sense to me, but that's just my opinion. But when you look at like other free-to-play games that were kind of in the same situation, I feel like they just had more content to start with, and it kind of just kept you more entertained for a longer period of time. And on top of that, they weren't really like fighting games. So fighting games, it's difficult to do that. And also on top of that, the competitors, like, I don't want to say Smash Bros is one of their competitors, but it gets compared to that a lot, along with like Brawlhalla. They kind of established themselves already, so to compete with them in their space is difficult to do. On top of that, this is all just Mario's world. We're just living in it. This is his entire category. He owns his category, bro. It's hard to compete. But yeah. And another thing, this game had a ridiculous amount of momentum. I don't think you guys understand exactly how insane this game like blew up and all the popularity that it had. It was ridiculous. So it is extremely difficult to keep up with that popularity. It's exactly like how artists are one-hit wonders. You know, they get that one song that blows up, goes crazy, and then you just never hear from them again because they can't keep up with that quality. It's hard to sustain that amount of popularity and momentum. And I'm not saying make a new game, obviously, but adding content to keep those players retained, it's difficult to do. Again, like I said, it's a fighting game. It's hard to keep adding content at a fast rate, along with balancing it. And another thing, maybe I'm wrong, but I know that there's like a ranking level. You can see like your positioning amongst other players in your region, but they need to put more emphasis on a ranked playlist. Just because not everyone wants to hop in the game and start sweating and get their ass handed to them and beat by Shaggy every night. I don't work a 9-hour shift and come home to get my ass kicked by a nigga in a green shirt and baggy brown pants with a bowl cut. But that's besides the point. I just really feel like they should have focused more on having a ranked mode and, you know, putting emphasis on that. Maybe that could have helped them. But I did have friends complaining about it being a sweat fest every game. Like, you're just trying to chill and it's a beta, so why do I have to sweat? But I digress. On top of that, I also was just informed that you're not going to be able to download the game anymore, and you can't buy the Gleamium or in-game currency anymore, I believe. And they're going to relaunch it in 2024. Listen, I hope that works. I hope that saves them. I really do. But I don't know if it will. I really don't. Like I said, I hope so, but people might have a bad taste in their mouth after how hard the game fell off the first time. But all I can do is hope and pray for them. You know, I don't want to see their downfall. I really don't. But best of luck to them. I hope they can make this game come back and actually come back stronger than it was before. But I guess we'll find out in, what, 8 months? Or whatever month they plan to launch it in 2024. But best of luck to them. But that's all I had to say. You know, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you know the reason why this game fell off harder than the designer, please let me know. Comment it down below. I read every comment. I try and reply to every single one too. Unless it's not in English, that's not my best language. But you know, I'll translate it if you're a foreigner. Yeah, that's all I had to say. Best of luck to MultiVersus. I want to see this game succeed. Add Impractical Jokers to the roster, and take care, you guys.